in Lesson 2.8, we're going to have our last U.S. traditional multiplication lesson, Part 4. You will need your whiteboard marker, your math journal, and your multiplication chart if needed. So let's go ahead and start with a warm-up. You are going to solve these extended multiplication facts. So number 1, 2, and 3 on your whiteboard. Remember, you are doing this with me, being trustworthy and a person of integrity that can be trusted even if I'm not sitting right next to you. You can do this. Go ahead and write the answers only for numbers 1, 2, and 3. Pause your video. Number 1, 6 times 8 is 48. 10 to the first power, remember, just means 10. So 8 times 10 is 80. And 6 times 80 is 480. Just an extended fact. I can't tell you enough how important it is to have those facts be automatic and not have to always look at it. It will take you a lot longer to complete your work as you continue math this year and in the future if you do not have those memorized. So use those multiplication charts or order some online, but practice those at home. This time we're going to number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Answers only. This should be really quick. Go ahead, pause your video, and write the answers. Number 1, 3 times 9 is 27. 10 to the first power just means 10. 3 times 10 is 30. 9 times 10 to the first power is 90. And 3 times 9 is 27. We put 2 zeros behind it. The answer is 2,700. Number 1 to 4 again. Remember, 10 to the second power just means 10 times 10. Doesn't mean 10 times 2. It means 10 times 10. All right, go ahead and pause your video and write the answers to numbers 1 through 4. Number 1, 5 times 10 to the second power, or 5 times 100 is 500. 10 to the second power means 10 times 10, which is 100. 7 times 100 is 700. 500 times 700 is 7 times 5 is 35. I add 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put in my commas. 350,000. And lastly, 5 times 7 is 35. Go ahead and erase your whiteboard. And another warm-up problem. A typical cat sleeps up to 18 hours per day. There are 365 days in 1 year. How many hours does a typical cat sleep in 1 year? So what we're going to work on today are 3-digit numbers times 2-digit numbers. We can do this a couple of different ways. The first way I'm going to show you is partitioning rectangles. So would you do that with me? Draw a really large rectangle on your whiteboard. And we're going to extend 365 to make it 300 plus 60 plus 5. I'm going to divide lines between the 300, the 60, and the 5. Do this with me on your whiteboard. We're going to take 18 and make it a sum of 10 plus 18 and divide that rectangle from left to right, horizontal. Now, in order to do partial products, I can just multiply these extended facts. So 300 times 10 is just 3 times 1 is 3, and 1, 2, 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3 zeros. Now I will take 10 times 60. 1 times 6 is 6 with 2 zeros. And then in that last column, 10 times 5 is 50. Then let's go to the second column. And we're going to take 8 times 300. Well, 8 times 3 is 24 with 2 zeros behind it. Now I'll take 8 times 60. Well, 8 times 6 is 48 with 1 zero behind it. And our last fact is 8 times 5, which is 40. Now I can make this a little bit simpler to add all of these up. If I take 3,000 plus 600 plus 50 is 3,650. And then if I add together these numbers, 2,400, 480, and 40, if I add all of those up, that will give me the product of 365 times 18. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, 0. 5 plus 8 is 13, plus 4 is 17. Carry my 1. 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 plus 4 is 11. 11 plus 4 is 15. Put down your 5 and carry your 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. And 4 plus 2 is 6. 6,570. Now I'm going to keep that rectangle up there for a minute. I'm just going to erase this. Let me just remind myself, 6,570. Now what I'm going to do is show you traditional. And we'll see where these numbers come from. The first thing I'm going to do is take 8 times 5, which is 40, carry my 4. 8 times 6 is 48. 48 plus 4 more is 52. I put down my 2 in 52, carry the 5. Now I take 8 times 3, which is 24. 24 plus 5 is 29. So I can write down my whole 29 because there were no other numbers that I needed to multiply by 8. Now I'm going to go ahead and draw a line through those, that 5 and that 4, because I already added it. Now I'm going to go ahead and put in my happy 0 to hold that place. Now I'm going to start multiplying the 1 by 1 times 5, the 1 times 6, and then the 1 times 3. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 6 is 6. And 1 times 3 is 3. Notice there was no confusion because I had already crossed those off, so I knew that I had added those in. Now we're going to go ahead. Do you notice anything here? Look at this 3,650. Look at where we got the 3,650 from before. If I would add together these numbers, 2,400, 480 plus 40, that would give me my 2,920. So I'm going to go ahead and add those. 0 plus 0 is 0. 2 plus 5 is 7. 9 plus 6 is 15. Carry my 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. Same answer, a little bit shorter process. So either one of those ways are acceptable to me. Let's go ahead and practice using traditional multiplication. So you're going to go ahead and open up your math journal to page 56. Open to page 56. Again, remember, pause the video at any point in time that you need some additional time. It says, choosing multiplication strategies. Solve problem 1 using traditional multiplication. Solve problems 2 through 6 using any strategy. Show your work. Again, if I don't see you carrying numbers, if I don't see that, my guess is you have used your calculator. And then as you get further along and you don't remember how to multiply, it's because you haven't done what's expected of you right now. So we'll do a couple of traditional, and then we'll try a couple of partitioning rectangles, which is partial products. So let's start with number 1, estimating. Let's just estimate to the nearest 100, the largest place value. So 627 times 34. Is 627 closer to 600 or 700? We'll look to the right of the hundreds place. If that number is 5 or more, you'll raise the score to 700. If it's 4 or less, you're going to let it rest at 600. So it's closer to 600 than 700. So go ahead and write that in your math journal. And 34, closer to 30 or 40? It is closer to 30. So let's go ahead and multiply that extended fact. 6 times 3 is 18, and there are 1, 2, 3 zeros I need to add. So our answer should be close to 18,000. Now, you're going to need to have some space. So if you find that you don't have enough space, you may do your work on the whiteboard and just take a picture of it if you need to upload it. So let's go ahead and write 627 times 34. I'm going to go over this line. I'm okay with that. I'll just circle my answer at the end. So the 4 in 34 is going to be multiplied by each of the numbers above, times the 7, then times the 2, then times the 6. So let's start with the ones place. 4 times 7 is 28. You're putting down your 8 and carrying your 2 over to the next place where we're going to multiply, which is the tens. Now we're going to take the 4 times 2, which is 8, plus 2 more. 8 plus 2 is 10. Put down your 0 and carry your 1. Now this is the last number that we have to multiply the 4 by, so we're going to write down the whole answer. So let's take 4 times 6 is 24, plus 1 is 25. I didn't have any other numbers to multiply that 4 by, so I write down the whole number. Go back now and draw a line through the 1 and 2 because we already added those in. Put your addition sign and then put in your happy 0. We're starting to multiply in the tens place, so we're going to occupy the ones place with a 0. So let's start now with the 3 times 7. The 3 is to be multiplied by the 7, then the 2, and then the 6. 3 times 7 is 21. You'll put down your 1, carry your 2 over to the tens place. Now 3 times 2, which is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. Nothing to carry over. And lastly, 3 times 6. Last number we're going to multiply the 3 by, so we write down the whole number. 6 times 3 is 18. I'm lining them up so each number is directly behind the one above it. Now let's go ahead and add. 8 plus 0 is 8. 0 plus 1 is 1. 5 plus 8 is 13. Put down your 3, carry your 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 8 is 11. Put down your 1. Carry your 1. And lastly, 1 plus 1 is 2. Now put in your comma. Now just circle your answer of 21,318. And that is close to 18,000. Number 2, 148 times 8. Is 148 closer to 100 or 200? Look to the right, 5 or more, raise the score to 200, 4 or less, let it rest at 100. So 148 is closer to 100 than it is 200. We can just keep the 8 there. We don't need to round that. 100 times 8 is 800. So our answer is going to be close to 800. Let's go ahead and write out the problem. 148 times 8. Again, I'm not worried about using that space, so I'm just going to use all of that white space there. I'm going to multiply 8 times each of the numbers up above. So 8 times 8 is 64. Put down your 4 and carry your 6 over to the next place value, the tens. Now we'll take the 8 times 4, which is 32, and then add in 6. 32 plus 6 is 38. Put down your 8 and carry your 3. Now we take 8 times 1, which is 8, plus 3 more is 11. We'll put in our comma. Our answer is 1,184. Let's do one more. We're going to do partitioning of rectangles for number 3. We're going to take 72 times 110. Is 72 closer to 70 or 80? 70 times, and is 110 closer to 100 or 200? Closest to 100. So 7 times 1 is 7. And then 1, 2, 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3 zeros. So our answer in number 3 will be closest to 7,000. I'm going to actually draw a fairly large rectangle. I'm going to think of 110 as 100 plus 10. And then 72 is 70 plus 2, because then that makes it just extended facts. It makes it very easy to multiply in my head and add those all together. So let's start with 70 times 100. Well, 7 times 1 is 7, and then 1, 2, 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3 zeros. Then let's take the 70 times the 10. 7 times 1 is 7 with 1, 2 zeros behind it. Then I'm going to take 100 times 2, which is 200, and 2 times 10, which is 20. In this case, it's pretty easy to add all those up. Let's add up in our head 7,000 plus 700. 7,700, and 200 plus 20 is 220. We're going to add those numbers up. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. 7 plus 2 is 9. Bring down your 7. So that is another option if you find that that works better for you.